Alright, so I just want to tell you about a dream that I had. So just kind of listen to it and give me some feedback, whatever you think, but it's pretty interesting. I had this dream where I was in this building. It has like a long hallway. People were everywhere, so it was kind of crowded. And it was I don't know, like a mall, or maybe a school, like a high school. You know how the hallways are always packed, with people running around, groups of people here and there, whatever. It's kind of like that. I'm walking. I have a person with me who I'm following, and they said, come on, follow them. So I don't know who the person was, so I just followed them. And as we walked through the crowd, we got to a group of people on my left, and the person says, "Look." So I looked, and the group of people were all standing around in a circle, and they all had these symbols and glyphs or runes or what have you, different pyramids and different weird designs like you might see in the pyramids of Egypt or something. All these different symbols all over their clothing and on papers or books that they were holding. And they were all talking to each other. And I'm like, what are they doing? And before I could even process what they were doing, he says, "Come on." And so I just turned and followed him. We kind of dipped through the crowd down this hallway, and people are on the left, the right, everywhere. We're just kind of going through the crowds of people. And then he says, "Look." He points to the right. So I looked into this room. In this room were a bunch of people who looked to be, I guess, African, a bunch of black folks, but they were dressed in like African tribal, all looked like tribal stuff. There was a mask on the walls, carved tribal masks. They were dancing around. One of them had like a fire torch, and there was incense being burned, and they had a bed in the middle of the room, and a lady was chained up on the bed, and they were dancing around her. She's going crazy, and her hands are tied down behind her, or above her head to the headboard, and they were doing some kind of voodoo. I have no idea what it was. They were doing this tribal voodoo stuff in this room, and I'm looking at this, and I'm in awe. I could not believe what I'm seeing. I'm like, this is crazy. And before I could even discuss what's going on or ask what's going on, he says, "Come on." So I just turned and followed him through the crowd even further down the hall. I get to the end of this hall. He says, "Look." And there's another group of people. And this group of people were all dressed up in goth-like clothing, all goth, gothic lipstick, black lipstick. Even the men had it on. And I looked close at them, and some of them had teeth like vampires. I don't know. Crazy. Not saying that goth is something bad, clothing, whatever, but it's just what was in the dream, and this is what they were doing. So they were dressed up in goth, and they were eating and drinking some kind of stuff out of this cup, and eating this what looked like powder. And they would eat it, and they would look at me, and they would start drooling, or the powder and stuff would fall out of their mouth, like down their chin, just keep falling out, and they kept eating it. Their eyes were glazed over. And I'm like, what is wrong with these people? And the guy was with me. He just started walking. I started following him, and I looked back at those people, and one of them, like a young kid, maybe 15 years old or so, he's like, "I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore." And he starts like he had no control of himself. And he turned around and looked at me and started running towards me. And he said, I just have to sin right now. And he runs past me, and on my shoulder I have a real expensive camera and a bag full of something. And he runs past me and grabs my camera and all the bag that I have, and rips it off of my arm. And he's like going wild. And he takes the stuff and he runs through the crowd with it. And my first thing is, I'm going to chase him. So I went to chase him, and the person that was leading me just kind of says, "There's no use. Don't worry about it. It's okay." So I just stopped and watched him kind of run off and disappear into the crowd. So I don't know. That was my dream. It was surreal. It was as if I was right there in real time. Every one of these groups of people, or these different rooms down this hallway, all had different people, types of people, different groups of people doing different things, but they were all some kind of witchcraft, some kind of occult, some kind of something that was not of God. So I just wanted to share that with you. It's really crazy because it walked me through several different types of people and different things, and it kind of showed me that this is going on right now, and it's everywhere, and it's not just one type of something. It's all kinds of stuff that's going on behind closed doors. And so I just want to share that with you. I just want to tell you now that the age of grace is about to be closed. So if you don't know who Jesus is, get your Bible, because there is no way to escape what's coming on this earth unless you know Jesus Christ. Last call. I believe it's here. Get ready.